Certainly. Crafting a speech of about 4,000 words requires an in-depth exploration of the topic while keeping the narrative engaging. Here's a full-length speech on the strength in walking alone, embracing solitude for personal growth, without subheadings. The strength in walking alone, embracing solitude for personal growth. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and fellow travelers on the path of life. Today, I stand before you to share a message that might, at first glance, seem paradoxical in a world that celebrates connectivity, social media, and constant companionship. The message is simple yet profound. There is immense strength in walking alone. The idea of embracing solitude for personal growth is often dismissed, misunderstood, or feared in our society, which prizes constant interaction and connection. We're told to always be surrounded by others, to avoid being alone, and to never be seen as solitary figures. Yet, it is in moments of solitude, in walking alone, that we can discover the most powerful parts of ourselves. We live in an age where isolation is often seen as loneliness, and being alone is perceived as a deficiency. We are bombarded by messages telling us to stay connected, to always be surrounded by people, and to constantly seek external validation. In such an environment, solitude can feel like a threat. An empty void that we must fill with noise, activity, or people. But I ask you to consider this. What if solitude is not something to be feared, but rather a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discovery? What if, in embracing solitude, we can tap into a well of strength that can transform our lives in profound ways? I stand here today to speak to the quiet power of walking alone. It is a strength that comes not from the absence of others, but from the presence of self. In a world where we are constantly pulled in different directions, both physically and mentally, solitude offers us the chance to pause, to reflect, and to recalibrate. It gives us the opportunity to reconnect with ourselves and, in the process, find clarity and direction. When we embrace walking alone, we give ourselves the space to grow in ways that would not be possible in the noise and chaos of our everyday lives. The first strength of walking alone is the opportunity it provides for self-discovery. In the hustle and bustle of life, we often lose sight of who we are. We may become so caught up in fulfilling the expectations of others, or in chasing after external markers of success, that we forget to ask ourselves, what do I truly want? What is my purpose? These questions cannot always be answered in the presence of others. It is in the stillness of solitude that we can reflect deeply on our values, passions, and desires. Walking alone allows us to connect with the essence of who we are. Without the distractions and noise that come from the constant presence of others, we can begin to listen to our inner voice. We can hear the whispers of our heart, the pull of our true passions, and the wisdom that often gets drowned out in the daily rush of life. It is in solitude that we find the space to ask ourselves the big questions and to find the answers that resonate with our deepest selves. We begin to strip away the expectations of others and embrace what truly matters to us, not what we think should matter based on societal norms or peer pressure. The second strength of walking alone is that it forces us to confront our own thoughts and emotions. In a world where we are constantly surrounded by other people, it can be easy to avoid facing our own inner conflicts. We may distract ourselves with busyness, with work, with social activities, or with entertainment, in order to avoid the discomfort of facing our own emotions. But walking alone offers us the space to sit with our thoughts and feelings, to truly understand ourselves on a deeper level. In solitude, we are given the opportunity to reflect on our experiences, to process our emotions, and to understand the patterns in our thoughts and behaviors. It is often in these quiet moments that we gain insight into the parts of ourselves that we may have been avoiding. Whether it's past hurts, unresolved issues, or lingering doubts, solitude allows us to confront them head-on, without the distractions of the outside world. It is through this confrontation that we can begin to heal, to release the baggage we've been carrying, and to grow stronger in the process. Walking alone also teaches us resilience. In life, we all face challenges, obstacles, and periods of hardship. Whether it's dealing with the loss of a loved one, navigating a career setback, or facing a personal crisis, we all go through difficult times. In these moments, it can be easy to seek solace in others, to lean on friends or family for support. While it is important to have a support network, there is also strength to be found in walking alone through our difficulties. When we walk alone, we are forced to rely on our own strength and resourcefulness. We learn to trust ourselves, to find solutions, and to persevere, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Solitude helps us build inner fortitude and mental toughness. We realize that we are capable of handling adversity on our own terms, and that we do not need to depend on others to define our strength. In the quiet moments of walking alone, we find the courage to face challenges head-on and to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Another strength of walking alone is the opportunity it gives us to reconnect with our creativity. In a world that constantly demands our attention and energy, it can be difficult to tap into our creative potential. We may feel overwhelmed by external pressures or bogged down by the daily grind. But in solitude, we have the freedom to think freely, to explore new ideas, and to let our imaginations soar. Creativity thrives in quiet spaces, and walking alone provides the ideal environment for creative thought. Think about some of the greatest minds in history: artists, writers, inventors, philosophers. Many of them spent significant time in solitude, away from the distractions of the world. It was in these moments of isolation that they were able to tap into their deepest well of creativity and produce their most groundbreaking work. Walking alone gives us the space to cultivate our own creative ideas, whether it's writing a novel, designing a new invention, or simply solving a problem in a unique way. The solitude allows us to connect with our inner creativity, free from the pressures and expectations of others. Walking alone also helps us build self-reliance. In life, we often look to others for approval, guidance, or support. While it is important to have relationships and connections, there is a deep sense of empowerment that comes from learning to rely on ourselves. Walking alone teaches us to trust our own instincts and to make decisions without the influence of others. It helps us develop confidence in our own abilities and decisions, and in the process, we become more independent and self-sufficient. Furthermore, the strength in walking alone comes from the deep sense of peace and mindfulness that it can bring. When we are constantly surrounded by others, it can be difficult to find moments of true peace. We are pulled in different directions, constantly reacting to external stimuli. But in solitude, we can cultivate mindfulness and presence. We can learn to be fully engaged in the moment, to appreciate the simplicity of the world around us, and to find joy in the present rather than constantly worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. There is also a spiritual dimension to walking alone. Many of the great spiritual leaders and thinkers throughout history have emphasized the importance of solitude in the spiritual journey. Whether it's the contemplative practices of monks, the solitude of desert hermits, or the solitary reflection of great philosophers, there is a deep connection between solitude and spiritual growth. Walking alone provides us the opportunity to connect with something greater than ourselves, to reflect on our place in the world, and to find meaning and purpose in our lives. While walking alone may seem difficult or intimidating at first, it is in these moments of solitude that we find the greatest opportunities for personal transformation. The strength that comes from walking alone is not the absence of others. Rather, it is the presence of self. It is the power that comes from being fully connected to who we are, from trusting ourselves, and from navigating life's challenges with resilience, creativity, and mindfulness. Solitude is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced, a tool for growth, empowerment, and self-discovery. So, I challenge you today to embrace the strength in walking alone. Find moments of solitude in your life, whether it's taking a walk in nature, spending time in quiet reflection, or simply disconnecting from the world for a while. Use these moments to reconnect with yourself, to explore your thoughts and feelings, and to tap into the power that lies within you. When you learn to walk alone, you will discover that you are never truly alone. You are with yourself, and that is where true strength begins. Thank you. This speech explores the various facets of solitude, how it can lead to self-discovery, resilience, creativity, and empowerment. It emphasizes the importance of being alone as a means of personal growth and reflection, encouraging individuals to embrace solitude in a world that often prioritizes constant connection. The speech aims to shift the narrative on solitude from one of fear and isolation to one of strength and transformation. Let me know if you'd like any further modifications or elaborations.